Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about the fact that dealing with narcissists can be exhausting. It's not uncommon for people who are dealing with narcissistic relationships of any type to become exhausted, listless, and depressed, especially over time, and many times it's more than just being tired from constant drama. We often hear about narcissistic people feeding off the energies and emotions they provoke in others, but what about the energies and emotions that other people catch from them? When someone is dealing with a high conflict personality like a narcissist, it's common to feel stress both physically and mentally. High conflict people experience high stress emotions, and high stress emotions are extremely contagious. Emotions in general are contagious, especially if you're more empathic. This is how panic seems to spread so quickly during a high stress situation, for example. People are, quote, catching it from each other. When you're dealing with a person who is so excessively hostile, so excessively angry, paranoid, bitter, afraid, you can catch a bit of that, maybe a lot of it. It amplifies your own emotions, which are probably already running high, and makes your stress level go up even higher. High stress levels bring changes to the body, such as production of adrenaline and cortisol, a rise in blood pressure, an increase in heart rate. It also affects your breathing, the way your mind works, and other things as well. When this chemical dump and jump in activity are over, the body and mind are tired. They need time to recuperate and recover. However, with narcissists, there's often no time for the body or mind to recover before there's a new emergency again. This cycle of staying stressed out in high gear becomes a way of life for some people, and while your mind may or may not get used to it eventually, your body cannot. It cannot run in that high of a gear all the time. It only has limited resources. Over an extended period of time, what happens is that your body can cease to react at all, even at times when it probably should. The things that should signal stress in the body, like a pounding heart or sweating, might not happen at all. The body's just too worn out, it can't do it anymore. Many times emotional reactions will be affected as well. Someone might find that their emotional reactions used to be regulated, then they were overreactions resulting from being pushed and prodded, provoked, abused, emotionally blackmailed, and surrounded by emergencies nonstop. And then, after a while, they find they didn't feel much reaction at all anymore. Even in situations where they should react, people might find that they just don't seem to. Normal emotional and physical responses have just been burned out by the constant stress. Exhaustion sets in. The body is just too tired to react anymore. This exhaustion can present itself in different ways besides what we've just discussed. It can show up as depression, weight gain, blood pressure problems, libido problems, an inability to get out of bed, difficulty with sleep, autoimmune flare-ups or other problems, a persistent lack of energy, something some people call adrenal fatigue, cortisol problems, gastrointestinal problems, and many other things. Even normal stress does damage to the body, and the enormous amount of stress caused by dealing with pathologically narcissistic people is far beyond what anybody would consider normal. It's like being in a battle zone, in a war where you are under attack all the time with no reprieve. It never stops. It's in fact not uncommon for those who've lived with narcissistic people to be diagnosed with PTSD because the living situation is so traumatic and stressful. People usually appreciate the damage this has done psychologically or emotionally, but they might forget that they've probably suffered physically as well. Your body has taken a beating from all that stress. Often, we also forget how much recovery time is needed from abusive situations. It can take years for the mind and body to get back to healthy functioning, and regardless of what anybody thinks, the healing cannot begin until the abuse has stopped. Once that happens, time in a different environment with meditation, clean eating, and dealing with the issues that the abuse has exposed is what's required to heal. Spiritual connection is very important too, whatever that means to you. There is no way to manage abuse so that you're not affected by it. It cannot be done. The only way to be sure you won't be affected by it anymore is to get out of the situation where it's happening. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.